Yo, welcome back to the Mile High Hotspur. My name is LeoCoys. I'm an American Tottenham Hotspur fan, and recently I put out this video right here, and I wanted to make a follow-up video, being as tons of my homies have reached out, either personally, some have left comments in the video itself, and I want to kind of just clarify some things and give some background as to why I made the video. Let's go, my homies. Yes, so welcome back to another one. Let's just dive right into it. Look, the video itself, I guess, could be taken as controversial. However, I just want to express my video was just a form of my opinion, and I did it without, having the need to feel I need to defend myself. And look, I'm making this video here not to defend myself, but to clarify a few things that I may have left to desired. Now, let's get into the first thing. My video did mention YouTube Tottenham creators generally, as a whole, not one individual. And I did mention certain chats, and by certain I mean those chats and the trolls and the mods that were mentioned in that video for that chat. Look, man, it is what it is. So I stand by what I said. Now I've been asked to debate about it, and I was even called, personally, by some people and asked what the video was about, if it was aimed at certain people. And nah, man, like, honestly, the bottom line is, if the shoe fits, then wear it. If people who are Ange out have the right to give their opinion without being, ridiculed, or without being, questioned or drawn into a debate, then why can't a person with Ange beliefs, just not have that freedom as well? I don't understand it. The YouTube space is plenty big for everybody to have their own opinions. And look, the proof is in the pudding. Tons of people watched my video that agreed with how I feel, whether that's the environment at other channels, whether that's the way the football club is being ran right now, whether that's the fact that Ange is facing an uphill battle. Whatever the case is, there's people that the video resonated with. And that was my goal of making the video, was to give a voice to people that may or may not want to be public about it. Because like I said, in some atmospheres, it is very toxic. If you mention your Ange or you try to, say something along those lines, the trolls are gonna feed on you 100%. So look, with this video, I thought I had the opportunity and the chance to just give my piece, and now I'm gonna add to that and say I'm not gonna go on any of these other channels and try to debate how I feel, because I don't wanna be another one of these people that go on there just to get set up to fail. Look, I don't even understand what the concept of a debate would be with some of these channels, because one, it's gonna be, like I've said before, an uphill battle both ways. Both ways. You're gonna be facing it from all angles. You're already going down guilty in the court of public eye, if that makes any sense. You're already coming out as being Ange. Now you're being thrown into a gauntlet to defend that. It's just not fair. It's not fair. And I commend and I salute the people that decide to try and take, the stab at it. Sometimes it ends up good and humor. Why? Because some people are able to have a peaceful debate. Some people are able to just say the same things back and forth to each other, the same things that were said yesterday, the same things that were said the day before, the week before, the same arguments that are going to be said tomorrow. Whether it's Ange in or Ange out, the same arguments have been made over and over and over and over again. And I just won't be dragged in to one of these yo-yo shows where I'm going up and down, up and down. Like, I'm cool on that, my homies. That's why I took my opportunity on my platform to give my voice And I'm glad plenty of people agreed with it. So for those of you that did watch the video and happened to leave a comment and like it, look, my homies, like, big up. The video was for people like you. The day I released the video, you know, I was called and asked, yo, like, what is this video about? You know, do you want to hop on and debate with us? And I'm just like, see, that's what it is. It's like, I was already asked if I wanted to go and debate versus a group of people, right? So already there, you're going like, it's just, you're set up to fail. So I'm cool on that, right? I do want to talk about how my video was never going to be the statistical breakdown to try and root for Ange. Nah, man, the video was from the heart. You know what I mean? I gave my reasonings, call them justifications, call them excuses, call them diluted. Like, it's how I feel. At this stage in my life, I'm way past wanting to just be always in a miserable state. Now, I'm not saying Ange out people are in a miserable state. I don't want my comments or my statements to be confused. You know, this is now moving on from that. You know, I'm past the point in my life where I want to dwell on negatives. I'd much rather look at positives and take negative situations and try and find bright spots, try and find things where I can find the benefit of the situation and use them for me as a way to, you know, feel better about it. Look, I know we're in a bad form. I know Ange Postecoglou's form on paper, statistically, whatever, it may not suit everybody's fancy. But me being engine is much more than just, you know, what I see on the pitch and, you know, the result at the end of the day. It's about a whole group of things, right? Like, I take into consideration the fact that Tottenham have been in this crazy transitional phase for how many years already? We've tried it with various managers. We've tried different styles, and we've never really given any of those systems the full allotted time. It's always been cut short. Jose was sacked short. Sherwood was just a temporary fix. Mason was just a temporary fix. Antonio Conte, we all know how that ended. It was just never going to work out. Look, we went the Nuno Espirito Santos route. That obviously didn't work out because fans and Tottenham alike just weren't patient enough to see where that could happen, where that could ultimately lead. Now, I'm not defending Nuno Santos at all with this either, but look, the man went off to Saudi Arabia, I believe, right? And won trophies out there. He came back to England. I say came back like if I lived there. He's back in England now, playing and managing Nottingham Forest. My homies, do I gotta say anything about how they're performing? So we rushed to judgment on him as well. Now we have this opportunity in Ange Postecoglou where we're already 18 months ahead of any manager that will come in, right? The ships for this season, Premier League wise, not Carabao Cup, not FA Cup wise, and look, borderline not Europa League wise, because we're still definitely in that competition. The Premier League, that's a whole nother thing, my homies. Like, that's a lost cause. We have to understand that. We may drop down further in the table, but it is what it is. Look, these other competitions, Ange Postecoglou has the opportunity to definitely take the monkey off of Tottenham's back. He's way more further along the road than any manager would be coming into the situation. So I'm definitely not trying to hop off the Ange train right now and hop onto another train just because I feel like it suits the narrative. For me, it doesn't. I'm willing to give the manager time. I'm willing to give the system time. I'm willing to give the players more time, even the players that come in. We're making some moves early on in this January transfer window, and if you ask me, I'm all for the new signing of the goalkeeper. But look, I don't want to talk about that. I'm talking about the last video and Ange Postecoglou, so I'm going to keep it on that. I'm all for right now what's going on at Spurs. I don't want to stop any type of motion that we have, whether you look at it as backwards motion or I look at it as forwards motion. I don't want to stop any motion at all. Like I mentioned in my last video, which again, I will link right here. Look, these players seem to be playing for Ange Postecoglou and the system and everything going on at the club, regardless of the situation, the injury situation, suspension situation, you know, players not wanting to be here. They're stepping up. I'm even inclined to believe, you know, players like Serge Reguilon and Brandon Austin, who haven't played at all, that are now having to be called upon. They were happy to get the game time. They were excited to go and play in this system that they, you know, obviously are a part of in training. So look, I see tons of bright signs for the future, whether that's long-term or short-term. Look, I'm here for the long ride regardless, my homies. I'm not gonna hop off the Tottenham bandwagon next season just because Ange is gone. Look, one of the comments in the video was, I'm only here because Ange is here and I won't be here when he's gone. My homies, I don't need to remind people that I've been a fan now for 15 years as an American, just because I want to be. I love Spurs. I'm not going to give up on the manager. I'm not going to publicly say, get rid of this guy. Get rid of him. He's clueless. He doesn't know tactics. I'm not going to slander. I'm not a critic. That's what it boils down to. Another reason why I made my video is because it feels like tons of critics have their voice and not enough of the support has their voice. If that makes sense. I hear a lot of criticisms and not a lot of supporting. So another reason why I decided to pop that video out, you know, was because of that. I'm fully back in Ange. I'm fully Ange in. I'm going to support the next manager as well, which I feel like it's not going to be for a couple of years down the road. I hope so. I hope so. Even if we fall further down the table, which, let's just face it, could be a reality, I'm still hopeful that in our semifinal matchup against Liverpool, we're able to squeeze out something, you know, and make it to a final and possibly win a final. We're still in the Europa League, which is an uphill battle to climb as well, but not as hard as the Premier League would be to win. No, the Europa League is definitely doable. We're going up against a different kettle of fish in this competition, and if you ask me, I fancy us to win that. We're getting back some of our players. They're going to be fit now, and who knows what the January window will bring for Ange Postecoglou and the Spurs. So let's see if we can pull some signings and get some of these players healthy so that Ange Postecoglou has the best fighting chance. You know, his back is against the ropes, metaphorically speaking. However, I'm glad I've heard reports and, you know, these ITKs and some of these bigger X accounts, you know, saying that Ange Postecoglou is 100% safe. That's music to my ears, and that came out after I released my video. So look, I knew when I released my video, I even was like, dang, what if I release this video and he ends up getting sacked tomorrow? But look, I'm fully behind it, my homies, and I'm super glad there were tons of people like-minded and felt the same way. Look, I will not be going on any of these channels to try and debate or defend myself for my beliefs, because I don't want to be put in that situation. Just use this video if you need to reference anything. Look, my last video, I want to reiterate, was not a go directly at anybody. It was just a generalization, and if it just so happens to feel like you felt that way, then I mean, I'm sorry. But yeah, look, Tottenham have a crucial game against Liverpool in the semifinals of the Carabao Cup. I'm going Spurs to win 2-0. Not influenced at all by this one. I just feel Spurs are gonna just have this bounce about them. The game is at home, so anything could happen. Let's go, Tottenham. Let's go, baby. Thank you guys for watching this. If you made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Consider subscribing, and if you want to go a bit further, there's a QR code. The link is in the description. become a channel member. I will be doing member only videos and content from the pub for whoever is interested. And you will have access to Colorado Spurs merch. Yo, up the Colorado Rapids and come on, you Spurs.
Going up, keeping lean up in my cup. All my cars got lead and wood in my hood.